All right, good morning. What is happening? College prep, middle school, 7th and 8th graders. We're back again today talking about wellness. So let's take a quick look at a quote here. Okay, that is all about what we're talking about this week. Okay, we're talking about self-awareness. So being self-aware is not the absence of mistakes, but the ability to learn and correct them. This is the perfect quote for this week, and it's a great quote to live by because we're not going to be able to eliminate every mistake. Everyone makes mistakes. Everyone has issues, no matter the most perfect person you can think of, whatever the sport or job or person is, you know they've made mistakes at some point. But again, those people who go on and do great things, they've learned how to correct them, fix them, and move on from them. So this week, we're looking at self-awareness. Really what that means is that you understand your own emotions, you work toward goals, you understand your strengths. With understanding your strengths, though, also comes with understanding your weaknesses. And then you also understand your thoughts. So how do all these things affect your behavior? Right now, it's really hard to make sure that we hold ourselves accountable all the time. And so if we let ourselves get overly emotional about something, if we let ourselves think way too much about one thing, we can overthink it. We don't have some of the normal checks we do of friends helping us out, or teachers being right there to kind of walk by and go, hey, I think you're overthinking it, tap you on the shoulder. I think sometimes during this time, too, of being apart from people and not having in-person learning, sometimes we kind of forget what some of our strengths are, or we only focus on our strengths. And, a lot of times we need to be working on all aspects. We want to continue to make those strengths even better, but we also want to make sure that we're looking at our weaknesses. And one of the main ways we do this is that you understand your goals. What is your goal? If your goal is just to wake up and make it through the day each day, that's pretty easy. I think we can all handle that. But you know what? As 7th and 8th graders, you guys now need to be setting goals and working towards something that means more than that. And that will help give you a sense of fulfillment. So some key self-awareness skills. Understanding and labeling your emotions. So you need to be able to understand when you're starting to feel frustrated, when you feel stressed, when you feel happy, when you feel good about something. These are all different emotions, and you got to be able to label them. Not that you're sitting around thinking about it constantly, but when you do something well and you feel good about it, you need to be able to understand and then strive to get that emotion again. The same thing goes for if you do poorly on something and you're frustrated or you're stressed out about it, you need to understand, that stress is okay, but you're going to have to find a way to work through it and fix it. And we do that by being able to label our emotions and understand them. And again, bounce back and understand that it's not awful. Everybody feels stress. Everybody feels some anxiety about things. Those things are okay. And if you can label them and look at them, then you're going to be so much better off. You got to recognize how those emotions affect others. I'm guilty of this for sure. I get frustrated about something, and then, I let it affect the way I interact with my wife, with my kids, with my friends. And, it's hard. You got to be able to recognize that, I'm getting frustrated about something. Really, my friend right now or my family member has nothing to do with why I'm frustrated. And so to take it out on them is not okay. Okay? You also need to understand what sets your emotions off. Again, what triggers you to be happy and what can trigger you to be upset. Now again, we're talking about things that, not little small instances. Oh, somebody said something that I don't like, and so it made me feel bad. Again, that's an awful thing, but, you should be able to try and look at that and go, what, did they really mean it? Does that affect me? Talking about triggers, emotions of, again, when you do really well on an assignment, Do you feel that sense of accomplishment? That's an emotion that is important to try and repeat, especially when it comes to school and work. And if you're feeling really stressed or anxious about a test, we're seeing that then that triggers it. So if a test triggers you to feel anxiety, what can you do to fix that? Well, you could study for it more. You can make sure that you do your assignments leading up to it, and that should lessen the anxiety. It doesn't completely go away. I've studied for tests a long time before and still gone into not knowing how it was going to go. You know what? Come out the other end, and if I studied, I at least can walk away from that room going, you know what? I felt like I did a good job on that, and generally that meant I got a good grade back. If I went into that test having not studied and feeling anxious, I usually walked out of that room still feeling the same way, and then usually got a score back that was not what I was hoping for. Okay? The next one, number 4, you want to be able to identify your own values and biases. So you need to understand what you value and what you're already kind of biased against. I'm somebody who I really value health, wellness, nutrition, physical activity. So I'm gonna, not only do I value those things, but I'm a little biased when it comes to what I think maybe is important for certain people to focus on. If I know I'm a little bit biased that sorry to Ms. Olson and Mr. Riley, but I wasn't a huge fan of math. So I'd be a little biased against do I want to do math problems, or would I rather do something that's more related to what I like? So again, you want to try and be able to start identifying these things. Lastly, you got to identify your strengths, and then even more importantly than that, your areas to grow. But again, both of those things are equally important. Sometimes we're too hard on ourselves. I've seen students, and especially student athletes sometimes, can be guilty of this more so than anybody, is that you're constantly looking at, what do I need to improve? I have to improve something. Something is not going right. And you never take the time to look at what you're doing well. I think for all students and all people, there are things that they are doing well, and they just can't identify their strengths. And when you do that, all you focus on is your weaknesses, and that often beats us down. And then our weaknesses, we don't even think of them as areas to grow. We just think that's the way it's supposed to be. So you want to be able to identify some strengths as well as those other areas to grow. Okay? So let's take a quick look at this example. So it says you might feel anxious about a test you have tomorrow, and then you snap at your mom when she asks you a question. Self-awareness helps you understand that your outburst wasn't because you're angry at your mom. It's because you're feeling on edge about tomorrow's test. Look, has this ever happened to you? What I want you to do when this video ends is I want you guys to share an example of being self-aware of your emotions and how you maybe acted out on somebody, or how it manifested itself in a positive way as well. I know I've had this before. Again, something goes wrong, and somebody comes in and asks me something, and I give them a short answer that was not intended to be hurtful, but definitely came across that way. Again, it was directed at the wrong person because I wasn't being self-aware enough of the fact that I was frustrated and feeling upset. Okay, so tomorrow we're going to see a quick video on setting goals. We'll dive into this slide a little bit more tomorrow along with the goal setting. I know as 7th and 8th graders, most of you know how to set goals. We've gone over it before if you've had me in the past, or if you had Miss McNamara last year, but we want to look at it again closer this year, along with this idea of looking a little more internally at yourself and what you want to do. So again, a goal is going to help you clarify what you want. It helps motivate you. It gives meaning to the actions that you're taking. It makes really big things achievable. I know for me, having something on the calendar, at least physically, that pushes me, it gives me a goal to shoot for. So signing up for, a running event, or knowing that I'm signed up for a sports league, those things make me want to take care of myself in a more positive way so that I'm prepared to do those things, because I'm not somebody who wants to go into that and just kind of give half effort. I'm just not set up that way. Okay? They help keep you accountable, and they'll help you reach your max potential. We want you guys to max out and do your very best. Having goals will do that. If you just kind of go through school not knowing what you want to get on your report card, and you're probably just going to be content with whatever you get. If you go into those classes going, you know what, I know I have a strength in math, I know I have a strength in science, language arts, not as much, history, it's okay. And you know what, you say, you know what, I want to really strive for my very best grades, and you set a goal in each class of what grade you want to strive for, you're much more likely to reach that than if you just go in going, I like these things, kind of don't like these. So again, we're going to work on really setting a goal. So again, after this video ends, let's go ahead and go back to this slide and answer this question down here. Okay? Have you had this happen? Share an example of you being self-aware. Okay? It might be hard to figure out today, but again, I want you guys to think about it, and I really want you to try and share with each other, and I think it'll give you guys some idea of really what we're talking about when somebody gives a good example. Okay? Anyways, hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Keep doing an awesome job in those classes. If you're struggling with anything, if you need help with something, again, myself, Ms. McNamara, we're here to help you guys out. I'm here to help you guys with your wellness, help to keep you guys engaged. So if you need something that relates to those things, again, please email me, and we'll get in touch and we'll work through it, okay? So anyways, you guys have a great week this week. I'll see you tomorrow while we'll be setting some goals, talking to each other right now about how you become self-aware.